For this practice, you need a couple of balls, a yoga block, and it's always nice to have a cushion or blanket nearby in case you want to prop yourself up. And we're going to start with the calves. We'll do the inner edge, center of the calf, and the outer edge as well. So place the block on lowest level, sideways, and one ball on top of that. Then bring either leg, either calf on top of the ball and start rolling the ball on top of the block so that you're leaning toward your arms. And just take a moment there to feel how does it feel. And there is not really right or wrong way of doing this. You just have to find the good distance, how you set up there, and just play around, see how it goes. You can also turn the block other way around. And now you might as well want to lift yourself up a little bit with your arms so that you can be rolling back and forth on top, to covering the whole center area of your calf. And you can just find a good spot and stay there or keep rolling. If you stay and find a spot, just try and relax, or if you're comfortable, you can also point and flex your foot, trying to get a little bit more of functional movement in between your muscles. And always remember to keep breathing whilst you're practicing, because sometimes you easily forget that. Alright, then we already moved to the other leg. I'll just turn around so that you can see me better. You can just stay where you are. So exactly same setup. Let's start with sideways, rolling from side to side, going through the calf. You can also take a moment here to stay for a couple of breaths, so stay still. Or you can also point and flex the ankle there. And all you need to do is just to find comfortable distance so that you get into the right place, and just find the area that feels tight and focus on that. And again, you can turn the block other way around. Again, use your arms to lift yourself up and roll back and forth. And same thing here as well. Either keep rolling or take a moment there in one or two spots. Keep breathing. And this might feel a little tricky for the first, but once you'll repeat the practice, you'll get used to it, and it feels maybe easier and more comfortable as well. So maybe do a couple of movements there, pointing and flexing the feet, and take a couple of breaths on this side before we keep going for the next one. And remember, you can always pause the video and just stay there for a little bit longer as we now just go this through briefly. So put the block on side for a moment and come for the quick lie down on your back and take a couple of breaths there just to digest and feel how does your calves feel. And then we come back up and move on for the next one. So this might be a little intense. We move on to the quads, and you only need one ball. We're going to work all the way up from the knee almost towards the hips. So take the ball on your left hand, come on tabletop on your hands and knees, and bring your right knee forward so that you're sitting on your right knee, left leg is stretched, and place the ball right on top of your kneecap so that you can lean on your arms, and you might as well want to use a cushion. And when you get there, when you find a comfortable place, you can either start bringing movement in, or you can just stay still. This might be quite choosy, especially if this is first time when you're working with the balls. So be gentle, and we're not going to stay here for long. So we're actually moving to the next spot. So you can push yourself a little bit further back so that ball will be rolling higher up. And again, you can bring in some movement, flexing your knee, or you can just stay still, take a couple of breaths there, and just stay calm, breathing in and out. And soon we will be moving on for the last and third spot. So again, roll back, and now the ball will be about halfway up. Again, take a couple of flexes there, and then just stay still for a moment before we switching the sides. Just one moment here, and remember the breath, breathing in and out. And let's switch the sides. You can just switch the leg, switch the ball to the other side. I'm gonna turn around so that you can see me better. So same setup, just other way around. Now the right leg is straightened, left knee is bent, leaning on your forearms. Please prop yourself up as much as you need to use the cushions, pillows, blankets, anything what you got. And again, the ball is first on top of the kneecap. Take a moment here and breathe in and out calmly. And then we squeeze a little bit further down, so the ball will roll up just a few centimeters, not too much. And you can flex the feet again, flex and point. And again, take a couple of breaths here before, hello doko doko, before we move on to the last spot, and then roll back again. And now we're about halfway from knee to the hip. And one more time, do a couple of flexes here, flexing and pointing to get some more functional movement for the muscles. And a couple of breaths to this last one as well. And please remember, you can always pause and stay for longer, as we're now going through everything really briefly. And once again, take a couple of breaths lying down on your back before we're moving on to the next one. So just take a moment to feel how your legs feel, and then start coming back up. So this one might be even a little more intense, but at least you're now familiar with the setup here. So this time we're rolling kind of in between the front and the side of the tights. So right from the outer edge of the kneecap all the way up along the corner of your leg. So same setup here, bring the ball on the floor. However, now we're turning slightly sideways so that your elbow, your forearm is on the floor, and you twist it slightly towards the opposite side and support yourself with the opposite hand. And then again, you can do the flexing and pointing of the leg, or you can stay still. This might be a slightly spicy, so move further back so the ball will roll up. And then we go again. for a few moments only. Again, please feel free to pause if you like. So this is the second step now, and we move back one more time. The ball is rolling higher up, kind of halfway from knee to the hip now. And once again, point and flex if you like, or just keep breathing where you're at. And just trying to find as comfortable place within the breath as you can. We're not here for long. Almost there, and here we go. Let's switch the sides, come other way around, start from tabletop again, and set up the ball right to above outer edge of your kneecap. Place your forearm, your elbow on the ground, and keep supporting yourself with the other hand. And here we go. Taking a couple of breaths, maybe bringing some functional movement there if you like. And we move back. The ball will roll up to the next step. Same thing, point and flex. Really good. Take a couple of breaths in stillness. And we move back one more time. The ball will roll up to kind of a halfway from your knee to the hip. Couple of movements here. And then again, few more moments. Breathing here. We're almost there. Won't be long. Really good. Start slowly coming out of the pose. And come lying on your back for the few moments. And just take a moment to feel your legs, feel your hips. And again, come back up. And we're going to move on to the hamstrings now. So take two of the balls, and hamstrings are starting right below the sitting bones. So we place the balls about right here and move our way down towards the knee. So come into the seated pose and place the balls on top of the hamstrings. Straighten your legs and lean towards your arms. Place your hands behind your hips. And more you lean forward, more pressure you get. And you can add some functional movements by flipping your feet in and out. And also you can stay for a moment, just keep breathing. And more you lean forward, more pressure you get. However, the more is not always the better. Sometimes less is more. So see how you feel. This first one, especially here, might be a little tight. So see how you feel, whether you want to stay still or add some movement. And then we move the balls lightly down, just a few centimeters down from where they were for the first. And same thing, add some movement maybe. And also you can take a couple of breaths just right there. You can see how it feels if you lean a little more to the front. And take a few breaths here. And then we will soon do one more last sports. So move the balls a little further down. So now you're quite close towards your knees. And this one might feel a little bit easier already. So if you want, you can try how it feels if you lean more towards the front. Maybe even place your elbows on your thighs and always twiddle the balls if needed, because as you move they might move a little bit. So always make sure they are in a good spot. And take one more deep breath here. And release the ball, shake the legs a little bit, and for a brief moment come down lying on your back. Just take a couple of moments here, feeling your legs, how they feel all the way from your feet towards your hips. And then we'll move on to the next one, which is the last one of the legs, the inner thighs. And you might as well take some cushion, yoga block, and one ball. We'll do one leg at a time. So I'll be lying on my left side, my lower leg is straightened, and we'll be working and rolling up straight in the middle of the inner thigh. So place your block on mid-height in front of you, place the ball on top of that and your top leg on top of the ball, and start rolling back and forth. And take a moment here. You can also find a spot where you might want to hold your leg for a moment, just taking a couple of breaths there. See how it feels, and then turn the block other way around. So now placing your leg on top of it again, and now rolling towards the other direction. So now you're rolling straight back and forth where your inner thigh is, kind of from knee towards the hip. And now again I'm turning the block other way around and placing the ball quite close to higher up on my inner thigh, and this area might be tense, so see how you feel. Do you want to roll or do you want to take a couple of breaths to stay still? And then take the block even a little closer and see how you feel. If the area is really tender, modify. Remember the breath. And we just stay here. Brief moment before we switching the sides. So I'm gonna turn around so that you can see better. However, you just switch the sides where you are. You don't need to be going back and forth. So now the right leg is on the ground, left leg is on the top, and I'll do exactly the same thing. First start rolling back and forth, the block kind of a sideways, maybe taking a moment there, or rolling, see how you feel. Then always adjust and modify if something doesn't feel good, or if you feel like you're losing the ball, that's alright, just put it back on and turn the block other way around. Keep rolling, now maybe slightly higher up. And again, maybe take a few breaths there. Or keep adding the movement, see how you feel. And one more time, I turn the block other way around and move the ball slightly higher up on my inner thigh, kind of like where the leggings seam is. If you're wearing the leggings, that's a kind of good benchmark where you should be rolling. And one more time I turn the block and take it even closer to my inner thigh or higher above, closer to the groin. And take one more moment here, then put the block and ball away and come lying down on your back for a moment. Just take a few breaths here. Feel your legs, feel the sensations, effects, and feel free to stay for a little longer, or if you're ready, come back up, and I will thank you for the practice.